Hello and welcome to the first podcast from Houlton School, recorded in our brand new school in the former Rugby International radio station. Over 4 episodes, pupils and staff from the STEM department will explore ideas around STEM education and the questions our pupils want answering, like what to do when you don't have any ideas, how science is being used to combat climate change, and why is some packaging so frustrating to open. This introductory episode will discuss the importance of STEM education and what STEM means at Houlton School. Joining the discussion from Year 7 are Brandon, Mikey and Luca, along with our Head of Mathematics, Miss Etheridge, and Head of Science, Mr Griffin. So let's kick start then. If I can start with you, Miss Etheridge, why do you think STEM education is so important?
I think STEM education is so important because it allows us to create young people who are great thinkers. We have to give them real life problems and they have to go about solving them in a way using the skills we're going to teach them. So we are teaching them science skills, which is going to help have our future scientists. We are going to have our technology, which is going to have our developers. We've got our engineering, which is going to be fantastic for the world around us, especially in Warwickshire with all of our great engineering companies. And obviously maths, because I'm biased and maths is the best subject. But Luca, why do you think STEM is important?
I think it's important as anything can turn into maths. So, for example,
Luca, have you, what sort of problems would you say that you've been solving in maths recently? Perhaps in your lessons?
Linear sequences and stuff.
Okay, and then is there any places around the world that you see those sort of sequences? That we see sequences outside of the classroom?
Maybe like bills? Circles?
Okay, and that kind of problem solving is a big thing for the design and technology department as well, and also art and design really. I mean, I talk to you all the time about the problems that we're solving, and thinking about your last sort of design technology lesson, is there a problem that you've solved during that lesson? Did you come up against anything that you had to solve? Mikey, did you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I think because obviously in DT we've been doing the pewter key rings, and I think it's difficult to get around how to design and what to do with your design. And we've been working with clay, trying to sculpt what we're going to do, and use all the sharp tools to try and create what you have in your head, and I think that's just really important that you know how to do that.
And Miss Etheridge, when they are combating those problems that they're faced with, our pupils, in STEM education subjects, what sort of techniques can they borrow from mathematics in order to help them understand that process of problem solving?
I think one thing which we have to develop in maths is the idea of resilience. So we're looking at lots of problems where straight away it might not be clear what the solution is going to be. We have to have a go at it. Sometimes we're going to do things which are completely wrong, but that's okay. It's absolutely fine to make lots of mistakes, which you're going to do in DT. When you're making your clay model, you're going to make a mistake and realise, I should have done it this way. Sometimes we think, especially in maths, there is a right answer and a wrong answer, and that's not true at all. There is maybe a best suited answer, and we've got to figure out how to get there. And that's something that we can take away to help us in our other STEM subjects.
Absolutely. And Brandon, what are your feelings on, if we think about the importance of those STEM subjects, science, technology, mathematics, in the world? Why are they so important in the world, not just at school?
I like it. I find it interesting how in maths, I found out that the golden spiral wasn't just in maths. It's in all sorts of things like sunflowers, ears, and all sorts of things. It's really interesting.
And yeah, absolutely. And how can you, when you discover that actually STEM subjects span over lots and lots of different disciplines like art, music, technology, mathematics, how does that make you feel? Does it make your considerations and understanding of it easier, or do you think it kind of blows your mind?
It's a bit of both, because it makes it easier because then I can remember what it is, and if it was in a test, then it would be I'd know the answer and I'd find it easier. And it kind of blows my mind because when you look at something, you don't see it until you're told about it sometimes.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
In my opinion, I think it's like a way of helping you remember things, like northeast, south, and west. Like personally, I think of it as never eat shredded wheat. But with the golden spiral, as Brandon was saying, you could think of it as like a dinosaur egg or something, or like an ear, and it helps you remember that.
Yeah.
Was it surprising when you found those things when we started off, because how we started off, Sarah, is we were looking at the Fibonacci sequence and these numbers, and they started drawing a piece of art. Sorry to take that away from
No,
you.
you're that's good to hear. Good to hear.
And we found this thing, and then I showed that you guys lots of pictures, and we couldn't believe it. I remember the one which surprised me was our weather and our tornado, because it was something we should have seen. I think, Mike, we were like, I don't know why I didn't see it before.
Yeah.
Is that what surprised you?
Yeah, there's loads of things that surprise me. I love the Fibonacci sequence. I think it's so cool how it works. Yeah, and like Brandon said about the golden spiral and how we see it in everyday life. But there's just loads of things that surprised me when you see those pictures, because it was like kind of like a tornado, like a storm that we saw. And you could, it was kind of like a hurricane that you could see the golden spiral through it. And I think that was just really cool that you could see that.
Amazing. And one question I had for our pupils is, since you've been at Houlton School and experienced STEM subjects like DT, you'll study food and prep and nutrition after half term, and mathematics and science. If you could do or try one thing over the next year, you could make anything, you could experiment with anything. What do you think that one thing might be that you really want to try?
It sounded cool when I think it was in art. You were saying how you guys were going to be designing parachutes. It sounded really cool because parachutes. I never thought that somebody of our age would be designing that. I just thought that it would be something that you do when you're a lot older, because it's quite a technical thing.
And you thought that because it was quite a technical thing? But I think it links to what Miss Etheridge was saying, that actually there's no right or wrong answer, is there, in all STEM subjects? And it's about you and everybody in the world taking that creative risk and learning that if you give it a go and try, that's sometimes the best way that you can manifest amazing things. And how do you think that adults around you can encourage you to take some of those risks? If I come to you, Luca.
Like try to put it in a different way. Like try not to make it as scary as you think it is. Like, for example, let's say like in science where we were making like those, what was it called? Like those graphs, but with like the X's. Scattergraph. Like when you had to draw like the line, it was kind of like weird. But no, it was like weird because like you had to like make it like join up kinda, and also
it was in the middle. You had to draw it in the middle in the line, because I thought I thought it was going to be like in a line graph where you join them all up, but you draw it through the centre of all of the
a line of best fit.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Thanks, Miss. So just using that as an example then, when you approach a task like that and it may be new to you or it's unsure in those STEM subjects, like if we take science for the example, if you're not sure of how to do something, what can adults say to you, or even a teacher say to you, to encourage you to take that first step in trying something, even if you're not quite sure what it's going to end up like, if it's going to be correct or not? Go on, Luca.
Like that it doesn't matter if you can get it wrong, because you can always try again if you get it wrong. And I'm not really sure what else to say.
Okay, Mikey, did you want to?
I think it's have confidence in what your answer is. If you get it wrong, well, yeah, you might have made a mistake on there, but it's having the confidence to put that answer through.
And I think, I don't know what you think about it, Miss, but I think as a teacher of STEM subjects, that's crucial, actually. I spend a lot of time with you and pupils at Houlton, encouraging them to be comfortable with failing sometimes, and be comfortable with the idea that they're not going to get it right all the time, because DT, for an example, we prototype a lot of things and we might model certain ideas before we make the real thing, and that's where all the mistakes happen. But it's also where all the problems get ironed out and get solved most of the time.
And I think when we started off in September in maths, we were always saying it is okay to say an answer which is wrong. And if you have an answer and it's the wrong one, what you're telling everyone else in that class is that you've really thought about this, and probably someone will thought the same thing as you. And we can look at that and figure out, well, why is it wrong? How could we improve it? What mistake have they made? And we've always said, nothing bad has happened when someone's got a wrong answer. No one has dropped down. No one's been shouted at. We've just gone, all right, what's happened here? Let's figure it out. And that's true of real life. Like when I was at university, I would spend weeks, and you think I'm exaggerating, weeks staring at an equation. And I would make lots of mistakes, and I would have to go and get help, and I would look things up, and I would go wrong, and then it would be something really silly. But nothing bad happens, and that's what you have to do. You have to think, and you've got to give yourself that time to think and get a bit stuck so you can get sorted.
And I think that's where the enjoyment comes from as well, isn't it? I mean, if I gave you a really complex problem, Brandon, or I gave you some flat pack furniture and said, work out how that goes together for me, and then once you've figured out how it all goes together, I'd like you to remake it, that would be super interesting, or you would find that a bit of a challenge, no?
Instructions, please, on how to put it together. Yeah, I think Miss Etheridge is right, because Ellie, she got a question wrong, and nothing happened. We just carried on working, and we corrected on what the mistake was and managed to work out what was wrong.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And if I just come to Mr. Griffin quickly from our head of science, we're just having a discussion around feeling comfortable to fail sometimes in STEM subjects. And when pupils and ourselves are approaching a challenge, trying to find a solution, or we're solving a problem, how we can, in STEM education and at Houlton, make pupils feel a bit more comfortable with that idea of taking that first step, even though they might fall off the cliff the first time.
Yeah, no. Hi everyone. I've just walked in, so surprise. You're absolutely right. I think one of the first things is it takes one person, doesn't it, to kind of be the bravest and put themselves out there first, so that everyone else can see what it's like when they get something wrong and how actually we respond to that. So I think it always takes one person to really be the leader and step up and say, look, I'm going to offer something here. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I'm going to offer it anyway, because I know that if I offer this, then I'm going to get some feedback on this. I'm going to find out whether or not actually what I've said is right or wrong. And if it is wrong, then that's fine, because I'm going to learn from that. And then once one person does that and everyone else sees that one person does it and gets that feedback that they need, then another person will do it and they'll see that that's the feedback that they need, and so on and so forth. And then you start to develop this culture in the classroom where actually everyone is comfortable to sometimes be wrong, because they know that in the long run that's going to be beneficial to them.
Yeah, and Luca, do you think when you do sort of teamwork in class, or you work collaboratively with different pupils, that also contributes to feeling a bit more comfortable to experiment and take those risks, but also maybe makes it easier to solve the problem that you're being asked to solve?
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, homework. Like, Miss Etheridge served some homework, and it was about, like, sequences in the world all around us. And she said that we could work with a partner if it makes us feel more comfortable in that. And I decided to go with Arjun and Loic. And I think we're going to start it today. So, I feel more comfortable because, I mean, I can help them and anything if they go wrong, and they can help me back, and just makes me feel better. Yeah,
and I'm glad, Miss Etheridge, that kind of happens. Really, it's really nice to see, because in design and technology, we do that collaboration and teamwork all the time, because people's opinions are valuable. They help you solve problems, and actually, in industry, you have design teams. You don't often work on your own as a product designer or in that sector. So that's really interesting that happens. Before we wrap up, because I realise we've been sort of 15 minutes, and we want to try and keep these podcasts quite tight and precise. But just before we go, if I can just put you guys on the spot and ask you a quick sort of one thing that you're looking forward to in your next coming week. In any of your subjects. You don't have to say anything to do with STEM education, but one thing you're looking forward to during the next week. Let's start with you, Mikey.
Probably the science.
And and what specifically about the science are you looking forward to?
We've been talking about equations, and we've been doing weight equals mass times gravity, and it's really fun to do them, and we get to use scientific calculations.
Amazing. And Mr. Griffin, are you looking forward to science working with Mikey?
I look forward to science every single day with equations, and I think what Mike is enjoying is that we've been doing some hardcore science, really, not kind of messing around science, which has been good. But I am looking forward to tomorrow. We've got our first STEM club after school. So we will meet as a little group, and we're going to be doing a parachute investigation and working towards a Crest Award. So that's going to be
amazing. And very quickly, Brandon?
I think maths and science because because I like doing the maths bit of the science, and in maths I find it fun doing all these numbers and adding, and it gets hard and then you figure it out, and then in science we get to find out new things about space and the stars and what's big and what's small.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. And Luca?
I'm mostly looking forward to the DT.
Yes.
With making our pewter key rings, because today I've just finished polishing it and all that, and then drilling the hole. So and then next lesson I'm pretty sure we're gonna start to put acrylic paint on it and paint it. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Amazing. And last but not least, Miss Etheridge.
I'm really looking forward to revealing to all of our students that we've been doing algebra for the last 4 weeks, and we're going to continue with that, but they haven't spotted that it's been algebra, because that can sometimes be a bit scary.
Amazing, amazing. Luca's got his hand in the air. I think he's spotted it. So thank you very much. That does bring us to the end of this episode. So thank you to Brandon, Luca, Mikey, and of course, Miss Etheridge and Mr. Griffin. My name's Mr. Hill, and you can join us next time for episode 2 as we discuss if sequences exist in nature, art, and music. If you would like to find out more about Houlton School, please visit our website, www.houltonschool.org.uk. You can also keep up to date on our social media channels. Simply search Houlton School on Facebook or Twitter.